Right now, the trick is going to be working with this debris and seeing if we can get some kind of story of what actually happened. Well, this crash occurred over 3 decades ago, correct?
Yes.
And this site
It's a wonder that there's anything left at all, really.
My thought is that this site was scrubbed pretty clean by the group that scrubbed it, whether it was the Mexican military 33 years ago, whether it was the U.S. military, we don't know. But the site was scrubbed pretty clean, but we found enough pieces that we can identify.
We have a really interesting piece over here, guys. Looks like part of the hydraulics from the plane.
This is a hydraulic connector right here. So you've got a line coming in, right? Then you've got various pressure bolts on here. We found a piece of the tail section. We found the fuel filter, various hydraulic lines, windshield. It's not a motor vehicle. It's not a motorcycle. It's a plane. The trick is going to be, what does the analysis of the wreckage tell us about what hit the plane? I mean, we know there's plane wreckage. We see windshield, we see parts of a plane, we see melted aluminum.
But no UFO.
But it says nothing about the UFO.
In the case of Roswell, you had a lot of ranchers, you had actual military people stepping forward and describing what they saw. The problem with this case is we've got physical evidence to hold on to, but we don't have anyone to talk to. There aren't any military witnesses stepping forward. There don't seem to be any ranchers out here to tell us what they saw, and that's the problem. It could be that this actually was a UFO incident, but we basically need more solid leads to really solve this case.
We're going to see that. And there I go. Right on top of an object now.
The team has finally found possible evidence of the fatal collision between a plane and a possible UFO.
This is really a very important finding.
Does this twisted piece of metal contain the proof?
I'm thrilled. This is a major find.
While searching the desert near Coyame, Mexico,
Did you find it?
Yeah, it's over here.
the team may have discovered the debris field created by the 1974 collision of a private plane and a possible unidentified object.
Hey, Ronnie, you finding stuff over here?
This is really a very important finding.
Using a metal detector, Ronnie has found a piece of wreckage that looks like melted metal, with no recognizable shape. It may be the result of two metals fusing into one.
Suddenly, we've gone from a theoretical crash to working with actual physical debris that we can work with.
Remember, that piece in itself could be an example of this theory of transference, right? Locard's theory of transference, in which two metallic elements hit, melt, fuse.
According to Locard's exchange principle, whenever two objects come into contact, a transfer of material will always occur. Is it possible that the force of the collision between the two craft, combined with the unknown forces surrounding the object, created an explosion so hot that metal from the plane fused with extraterrestrial material from the UFO?
I can't classify it with the discriminator. It's saying between zinc, copper. It's really giving me an unknown indication exactly what this is. There might be some other mixed elements in here, so this is a very important thing to bring back, get some metal analysis on this.
Now, did the metal melt from the kinetic heat of an impact with a UFO? Did the metal melt because the plane hit the mountain over there and kind of bounced down and exploded? These are the things we don't know and can't really tell from the site.
What's fascinating to me is that this site is so close to the Zona de Silencio, which fringes this area as well, and the strange craft that was involved in the 74 incident overflew part of the Zone of Silence.
According to reports, the UFO flew from the southwest toward Texas and through the Zone of Silence, a circle of roughly 300 square kilometers, centered near the junctures of the states of Durango, Coahuila, and Chihuahua. It gets its name because it is believed that radio and television waves are sporadically silenced here for no reason. What's fascinating about this area is that the reported unidentified object seen in Jalipla in 2007 also flew over the zone of silence before making a sharp turn toward Hilitla. What is it about this area that causes it to have such an effect on these objects?
It's noted for its anomalous activity, UFO sightings, apparitions, and it's considered as Mexico's Bermuda Triangle.
The zone is an area with a long history of physical and magnetic anomalies. Compasses have been reported to go haywire and swing wildly, which can fatally affect aircraft guidance systems. In the middle of this isolated desert is an unusual site.
Why would there be a structure here?
One thing we noticed right away that the whole area is marked off by a circle of blackened earth.
The area is marked off by a circle of darkened earth, approximately 20 feet in diameter.
This is a big deal?
Careful, don't go too close yet.
Well,
Yeah, that's
I don't
it.
know what it is, but I just
Looks
know
like a
that
hole.
this soil is so suspicious.
The guys, with all due respect, the hole doesn't seem that mysterious to me, and I know that, I hate to be the party pooper here, but it looks to me like somebody may have been digging a well or a pit for burning garbage.
Even though everybody in this small community knows everybody else and they keep track of everything in the area, nobody had an explanation for how this pit got here, what its origin was, what it may have been used for. It's a total mystery to everybody here. And another part of this mystery is that the villagers told us that the military specifically warned them to stay away from this area that's demarked by this fence, stay away and just don't mess with it.
The fenced region around the pit has an area of approximately 4,000 square feet. Why this remote area, 5 miles away from Koyame, would be fenced off is not known. The team breaks the area down into quadrants and searches for any signs of debris.
There's a lid.
It looks like
Hey,
a 55-gallon drum or something.
that's a clue.
Well,
I'm noticing other bits and pieces of metal like this.
If the military had an expedition out here, they would have definitely brought their own fuel with them because there's no gas station near here. We found chain drives for maybe a drilling mechanism. We found welded parts. The other thing we found are oil drums. So somebody transported oil, petroleum, or some explosive material to this site.
Could it be that, like the 2007 crash in Hilitla, the Mexican military was immediately called in to collect, gather, and destroy any and all evidence of this incident?
Pulling up some circular metal objects here.
look at this. They're all like drum covers. You notice? Look at this.
Yeah. There's something right over there, a white, I don't know what that is, I didn't want to touch it.
Oh, you know what? It could be for a light some kind of light fixture. In other words, if you have the bulb assembly.
Oh, wait a minute, let's say this was a site they came to and they actually
nighttime?
strung lights at night. The hole that we found is not simply a hole in the ground, it's a drilled hole. So this is a site where some kind of burial or explosive operation, some kind of incendiary operation took place to get rid of evidence and bury evidence. It looks kind of like a bomb crater or one of these nuclear explosion sites where it explodes and the ground collapses and there's a kind of a crater. That's what it looks like to me just walking up to it.
According to Noe and Rubin's book, Mexico's Roswell, quote, the presence of this deadly agent motivated a U.S. military task force to rush into Mexico and set off an incendiary device, possibly nuclear, to prevent any further spread of the problem. The U.S. did indeed have backpack nuclear weapons in the 1970s. The W-54 suitcase nuke ranged in power from 1 to 10 kilotons. This smaller explosion may have been used to eliminate a, quote, lethal biological agent.